I wanted to do the introduction as well with like the camera move.
Oh.
It's gonna get some used to. Anyway, in the bottom right side we have a blue Terran from Onside Gaming, Maru. See if you can time this up better. Oh, there he is. Oh, isn't it lovely?
G5L trophy there. Just recently picked up.
Yep.
Top left-hand corner, ladies and gentlemen, from Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it's Cure.
Nice. No trophies there that I can see.
Honestly,
Unless
I
they're
feel
on
like...
the left.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
don't know,
not
I
as
feel
much
like
of
that's...
a showboat. Nice.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all.
It's pretty accurate for Cure. He's very... I don't know, when I think of Cure, I don't know if this is unfair, I think of very, kind of straightforward play. Like, I think of hitting your timing attacks, you're going to be getting up to a solid economy, 3 bases, and then a lot of pressure, and just kind of this really meticulous Terran playstyle is kind of what I associate with him. Well, interestingly enough, though, Maru doesn't care about that, and this is just Maru things, because we already have a proxy 2-Rax out on the map. Now, the crazy part, Kozan, is this is not an all-in.
Nope.
Because it's Maru. Maru is perfectly capable of proxy raxing 2 Reapers and just being able to transition out of this. So it really is dependent on how much damage he can get done with it. If he does find damage, he can oftentimes get himself actually a lead from this kind of an opening. So we're going to look at that Reaper for Cure. And interestingly enough, Cure is also going for an in-base 2-Rax. And I think this is just a response because Cure knows Maru. He's played against him so much. He says, listen, there's obviously a chance that this happens. If I go for an in-base proxy 2-Rax, not only will I have my own Reapers out to apply pressure if it's not, but I'll have them to defend.
Yeah, for sure. Like the one thing might be that the production could be a little bit slower here for Maru on the infantry kind, right? If he does have to forcefully move those barracks backwards. But that's about it. Okay, he does have 2 Reapers here now. This is a critical moment. The second Reaper for Cure just came in the nick of time, and this doesn't seem like it will lead to very much. Well, more Reapers for Maru are coming out, but Cure wisely backs off. It's not gonna fall prey to a Reaper coming in from behind. That's it, right? That's pretty much all she wrote with this attack. A safe opening for Cure though, right? With the double Rax himself in the home base.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a build that you go when you're kind of expecting something like this, and as you see, that's why it works so well. You have that second Reaper out just a little bit faster than your opponent for when they jump up. You get those extra shots, and then you're just able to defend this extremely easily, essentially, with a faster factory as well. If you're looking at that factory for Maru, still have about 5 seconds until that's done. Cure already has his first Hellion started up, Starport on the way, and so you're not only getting that advantage in the fact that you've defended this, you haven't cut workers really for it because the barracks was slightly later for Cure, but your attack is also just that much quicker, and this is going to put Cure in. I mean, he should be completely happy with how this game is going so far.
Yeah, for sure. I like that Maru didn't really lose any of these Reapers either. As they were still being produced a little bit there across the map, he managed to keep them all safe, even though Cure was moving out, trying to intercept potential more reinforcement Reapers coming out. Just didn't happen. Maru on the case, very safely finding all those units backwards, and now he should be a little bit safer against a potential follow-up here from Cure, and he is moving across the map. But yeah, Maru's got an all-right Reaper count now. I think it's like 4 Reapers, and he's got the Cyclone. Yeah. It's suddenly a fight, right? If it's only 3 Reapers, it becomes a lot more. It's starting to become more hectic feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a bit of a challenge for Cure to really find damage. Both players have their command centers on the way, but again, it's just there's this slight lead for Cure. He's putting his on location. Not only that, but he's also has a Banshee coming out. Interestingly enough, those barracks didn't go home. Kozan. So those barracks actually landed all the way up in the top left-hand corner of the map. They are now producing Marines, and Maru is preparing for a tank push, essentially. I mean, the tank should be popping out soon. I imagine they wants to bring that over with the medevac, but might just for now be pushing out with the Reapers. There's just so much here for Cure on the defense, though. Like, that army that he has built up is definitely one that can match what Maru is trying to press out here with, although a catch on the Banshee would be very, very nice. Medevac giving vision. Yeah, Cyclone pulls back, and it's a good start for Maru, and I don't really think he can fight this straight up. I mean, there's so many Reapers for Cure, and the pickup comes through. Maru just needs to get out. That's a tank, though, that's going to be under fire. The Viking needs to drop down. Look at the flank from the Marines!
Wow, comes in out of nowhere. Suddenly those Marines show up. The medevac of Maru stays alive as well, as he will continue moving forwards. However, he has lost his siege tank. And that is a lot of the staying power that allows him to kind of force his way forwards here. Now it's the back off, try to find a different angle. I love those barracks there, man. I think it feels very smart, but at the same time, one of those things that could feel incredibly just, you know, like it could have just absolutely fallen apart as well. If those Marines got found out and then suddenly he's just down all those Marines. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, Maru was kind of banking on the surprise of this attack, where Kira was not going to be expecting the Marines. He wasn't going to be expecting the tank push necessarily, as look at this. SCVs have to be pulled because the tank is forward. 2 Vikings just hit the floor and they knocked down the tank. As now we're going to start to see these SCVs focused down by the Viking. 2 more Vikings hit the deck just to get rid of Maru's tank, but he trades out 5 for 3 workers and evens up that worker count. And now both players are on 2 bases. And the only real advantage that Kieran has anymore is the fact that his stim has been started so far ahead of Maru's.
Yeah, I feel like Maru is managing to get okay trades, but, well, Kier's hanging on there on the other side as he's actually starting to move across. Let's see, that's 2 siege tanks, 2 Vikings. Little bit potential scary stuff here, as he is moving to a section of Maru's base, which doesn't seem as properly defended as it potentially could be.
Yeah. Liberator's going to force some SCVs to be pulled here. I mean, it's a nice timing for Maru getting that across the map. Obviously, Kira wants to get a little bit aggressive, and so just nice knowledge of the timing there. Viking will be able to clean it up, and so far, Kira, I mean, still definitely in a decent position. That attack, it got damage done. Sure, it traded out units, and especially the trading up in workers is massive for Maru to kind of get back into a comfortable position in this game. But you still have this push that's coming out. 3 tanks to 2. The Viking count is, I mean, even right now, and that additional Cyclone does make it a little bit harder for Kira to push this in. But Maru is just having to kind of give up his position. You know, he's holding his tank line, but there's not much he can do to stop Kira from just pushing forward here and getting that siege up to start to shoot down the supply depot and the factory that are at the front there. The Liberator finally goes down back at home with 3 more worker kills. But Kira right now has a contain, and for now, I don't know. There's not a lot that Maru can do to break out of this.
Yeah, Kira being very careful, even though he has 2 more Vikings over his opponent. That one Cyclone, quite a valuable asset here for Maru. Otherwise, these Vikings would just be flying hog wild right now. Without too many Marines nearby either.
Yeah, this is, I mean, it's just so hard for Maru right now. Again, those barracks, they got knocked down. They were floating back. Those getting caught out means that you don't have that Marine production. It's essentially just a mech army from Maru. And now finally the Viking count is going to even out. Scans are going down. You know, tanks are being moved forward. But without that bio, you know, one of the things that you see whenever Maru goes for something like these amazing, oh, look at that lock on. Just barely sliding in is going to be able to, I think, yeah, just snipe off one of the tanks. But when Maru does these miracle breaks, you know, through these contains set up by other players, it's off the back of flanks with his bio units, and he just doesn't have that option right now with his unit composition. Still, though, the Cyclone being able to get a tank is already a great start, but now you're looking at 3 tanks to 2, you know, 4 tanks to 3 as these next ones come on over. The Vikings are going to land. Kier's going for it.
Okay, thank God.
Oh, I don't know if this is the right call.
Vikings in the front as they the meat shield he just desperately needed. If Kier managed to just get in a little bit quicker on top of those siege tanks without the Vikings landing in their way, I think he would have broken him. Just a little bit too quick for Maru there.
No, it was so telegraphed there by Kier as well. You have to drop the Vikings to have that tankiness. Is now you're pushing forward, and yeah, Kier just gonna tap out because Maru can swing it across the map.
Wow.
He's up 1-0 from Onside Gaming, the reigning GSL champion. It's Maru.
And his opponent, is it a dragon, a phoenix, or a gamer? It is the red Terran player, Kier. It does look like a gamer, yes.
One of these things is not like the other.
I also thought that, you know, this Maru with his trophy, I don't even think Maru realized he put it there, right? He must have so many trophies, and they're just overflowing his room right now. It doesn't matter where he puts the camera, right? It's not like he's setting it up purposely. No, it's just like no matter where you put it, it's gonna show trophies because it's littered with... he's littered his place with trophies.
Yeah, I think the strategic placement of the trophy here is pretty good. You know, it's right beside the head. So, you know, when you look at Maru, you have to see it in your peripheral. You know, so, you know, I think it's very, very smartly done.
It's a badass reward. That is for sure.
You get like the one-of-a-kind trophy?
Yeah, I mean, the GSL 5 wins. Oh, that's impressive, man.
Yeah, I mean, probably never going to be done again. I don't think, I mean... What, Rogue is at 3 wins? And that's the next closest. But, yeah, it's really, it's
going to be tough.
It just goes to show how dominant Maru has been and just how good. You know, it's always a situation where Maru comes back every season and we're like, you know, Maru, he's had some ups and downs. Is his form going to be, you know, at the top of the top? And no, he just keeps it, you know, consistently the best Terran in the world for the past few years.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's he's born and bred into this game, truly.
Yeah,
I always thought of him as like the modern day Spartan experiment in a sense, right? But then with gaming,
with gaming, we've genetically engineered these humans for gaming. That's how we're going to defeat the alien threat.
Society is made towards benefiting the prospects of the gamer kind.
Yes, ultra powerful wrists with super speed and durability.
Instead of like pulling the babies up by the ankle, they pull them up by the wrists, and then they see how strong the wrists are. Oh my! No, this is not what happens in Korea, guys. Don't get me wrong. But this is what it feels like, the process that Maru must have gone through for how good he is.
As Marines here should be able to stop these Reapers. Kier did go for the reactor on the barracks. It's just a slightly different... beautiful micro there, just to get a bit more damage onto that one Reaper. But the difference in build orders here is not super big. Essentially, you had Kier go for barracks into factory, into his CC. Maru has done the same. Kier got the reactor first. So skip that first Reaper, got a reactor, means that he can produce 2 at a time. It just means that you're safe against that first Reaper from your opponent. Also, you can go up to 4 Reapers really easily with 3 aliens if you would so like. As Folks Fire coming down from Kier actually loses 2 Reapers there for just 1. Maru pulls back the Marines. And yeah, he's pretty good at that micro thing.
Yeah, he is. He really is. As he's coming across the map again, I'm certain Kier is worried about that micro in particular right now. Now this is one of his Reapers, but he kind of got a glimpse of where that medevac was going, but then again the medevac is going back now, so yeah, Kier's going back as well. It's such a tough position, right? I mean, he doesn't necessarily have to beat Maru here, but it definitely benefits him if it does quite severely.
Yeah, I mean, I think you want to avoid that losers match, even though I think Bunny and Gumiho are probably considered to be the players who are a bit weaker. I mean, mind you, Gumiho beat Kier. He reverse swept him in GSL, you know. Gumiho is good at TVT. He's done it before. He's a momentum player for sure. As this Widowmine is going to unburrow. The Marines just cannot fight against the Cyclones. As Maru, just picks it up, tries to get out. I think he might be able to escape that one lock on if... Yeah, just barely.
Huh. Well, that's pretty wild to me that he didn't just go for the one SCV kill and instead tries to get it out, right? Because at least that's a guaranteed kill. Now it's just going to sit there for a little bit longer. But we'll see. Maybe he's going to get a lot more value out of it later down the line.
Yeah.
Like right now. Ooh, well, it hit something. Did it get a Cyclone?
It got a Cyclone, yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty worthwhile. As, Maru just burrows that outside the third base and says, okay. Good enough. But yeah.
When he pulled away, how did he know I'm going to get a Cyclone instead later down the line?
Yeah, Maru though is just kind of playing out this early game as comfortably as he can. I mean, you have the Cyclone here stopping that medevac from getting on in. Raven's out for both players, and the third command center is also on the way. Maru, I mean, is kind of doing Maru things here. You have that command center timing. He's about 30 seconds ahead, but you're also looking at the fact that his 2 additional barracks are coming down faster. His +1/+1 is actually started up far ahead of Cures, and this is especially on Data C. I've seen Maru do this a lot in maps like Data C, where he'll actually prioritize getting his really, really quickly. Like, I really have not seen other Terran players focus on getting those engineering bays and those upgrades as quickly as Maru does. And one of the main reasons is Stimpack sort of becomes, once you get to a high enough tank count, those Marines are essentially fodder. The Stimpack is not going to do too much unless you catch your opponent out of position. And so getting your upgrades up actually has a massive impact in the early fights because your Marines stay alive longer. And it just gives them that longevity, whereas Stimpack is a lot more of an upgrade that kind of, if you focus getting it first, obviously, I think Maru has kind of figured out, hey, it's not as worthwhile as getting these upgrades started because these scale so well.
Yeah. Yeah, and well, it's not hopefully too far apart here for Cure. His third base timing is still, it's still close by. The armory starting up already for Maru. He's probably not gonna lay in wait for starting the +2/+2 either. And only now the plus armor starts. Oof, yeah. Yeah, I don't... man, in any other matchup, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, the siege tanks could just make up for that fact, right? Just a couple of good siege tank shots or a good Raven interference matrix on the enemy siege tank. You should be okay. That damage should kind of spread out and not be too influential. But, you know, then the back of my mind just kind of tells me, like, but it's Maru, though, isn't it? It's like, oh, dear.
Yeah.
This could just be nasty for him, yeah.
And again, those upgrades, you know, when you're looking at these fights where you have interference matrices, where you have tanks getting disabled, and it comes down to just the Marines fighting, you know, you're going to have this big difference. It's 1-1 right now for Maru, already finished up. Cure still working on those upgrades, and Maru can start his 2-2. 3 Ravens to 2 as well, I believe. Did Cure cut his Ravens early? Yeah, he has Vikings out. He cut his Ravens just 1 cycle early. Usually, most players like 3 Ravens. It gives you the most energy. It's fairly comfortable transitioning from that over to your reactor to produce Vikings. Cure just did it a little bit earlier to get that Viking count higher than his opponent. But it does mean, as you said, less interference matrices. That's the really big upgrade. Is here we go. Cure gonna look for the fight, but yeah, you don't want to fight that. Auto turrets, the 1-1, enough to scare back Cure's. Yeah, Maru has already started up his 2-2, +1 vehicle weapons as well. And man, Maru is just, he just does things. If he prioritizes the right stuff, it feels like, as these upgrades definitely going to just give him the agency to take fights when he wants to and on his grounds. Now the tanks are coming over. Maru looking to get a little bit aggressive.
Right, yeah, he's moving forwards. +1 infantry upgrades off, equaling out. It's like the anti-timing here, push for Maru. Ooh, those 2 siege tanks, they're going to get caught out. They're not going to be replaced.
The medevacs, yeah. Not able to get there in time. I mean, maybe Maru could have tried to get one out, but that didn't work out, and just feels like right now, Cure doing a pretty good job of stopping Maru from really gaining any ground with that army. Has equalized the game up to this point, but then you're going to have the 2-2 upgrades coming through, and once that happens, I wouldn't be surprised if Maru starts to get a little bit more active on the map once again.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of hoping for as well. It feels like he's just more comfortable right now, and with that 2-2 upgrade finishing, it's definitely one of the moments, right? This is where he should start trying to look for his punches to start connecting. He's spread out across the map. He's taken a bit of a survey of the area. What's happening right now, and there's not much happening for Cure. This makes me think even more so that he's just bunched back into his own base, and now he's gonna start moving forwards here for the offensive, right, Maru? Right? Yeah, there.
I mean, yeah. Maru does have his 4th command center already up, mind you. This has just been a game of kind of moving around the map, trying to make sure that your opponent is not setting up anywhere. So you're trying to really just counteract the movement of your opponent, and but behind this, both players are just getting their economy rolling. I mean, you're looking at 82 workers essentially for both players. Maru now going up to 85. This is a really big economy. Is now looking at for this fight. I don't know if Kure wants to take this. It's 2-2 versus 1-1, and you just see Kure get shredded.
Yeah, I mean, Maru really clean there with a very close timing with that stim, just barely pulling away those Marines before they would get the initial 3 shots off from Kure. And then just that quick, neat pull away, tidy up with the rest of the Marines, and suddenly there's just a fire line assembled there for Maru ready to go. Even though it looked like it was a very nice arc for Kure to take there in the fight initially.
It just goes to show, again, why Maru prioritizes what he does. I mean, he is really, I think, kind of been the hallmark player of TVT. You know, he has shown ways that you can play this match. And look at this, Maru's just stimming on in. Interference Matrix is going down. He says, listen, I have 2-2. You don't, and I can take this fight. His tank siege position is so good. The Marines are eventually going to get blown up. But look at the tank count as Maru continues to fire away.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Even if he doesn't necessarily win right here, right now, he's definitely taking the better trade.
Oh, more tanks are going to go down. Yes, auto turrets are popped. The last of these tanks getting so low, it gets blown up. Only 2 tanks left for Kure, 7 for Maru. He's just so decisive with taking that fight. He knows that Kure's been caught out, stims in, sieges up, and gets, I mean, a massive engagement there. It's now going to force Kure back to his third completely.
The big thing is those 5 Ravens by now for Maru versus just a singular one. I mean, there's more Ravens, for goodness sake. There's twice as many Ravens as there's tanks available for Kure. He can literally interference matrix all of them if they're full energy, and then still kill them with auto turrets.
Yeah, so right now another interference matrix going down. Siege forward. It's just so many tanks for Maru as the Marines trying to focus down the last one. And it feels like this death push is just gonna, it feels inevitable right now.
Yeah, this is just Maru slowly applying the pillow to Kure's face. It feels like as he is starting to squeeze the life out of him. Ah, there it is. GG is called. Maru 2-0 victory. Very well played.